Hey guys, welcome to a Painting Miss Daisy tutorial. Today we're going to be painting this beautiful wisteria tree. All you'll need is some brushes, acrylic paint, and a canvas. Let's get started. So for my background, I'm starting with this nice metallic cobalt blue, and this is just going to give us a fine finish in the back, and this is also metallic, so it's going to have a nice shine to it as well. And you can just put it right here on the canvas. And just spread that out with your brush. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of this metallic blue, just because I like to have a few different shades for my background. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of my metallic lemon yellow with some metallic cobalt blue to try to get an effect of sun coming through into the background. And we're just going to blend it evenly together in nice smooth strokes. Now I've mixed a little bit of my yellow with white, and that's going to have more of a sunny feeling to it when we brush it onto our canvas. And in order to keep that yellow, I'm going to wipe off my brush when I blend it in with the green. And just add a little bit more. And the key here is not to get our dark colors into our light colors. It's alright if you get a little bit of our light into our dark though. And then I'm going to slowly start to blend back our cobalt blue and our greenish color into the background. Now we're going to wait for it to dry so that we can add our wisteria flowers. Now that the background has dried, we're going to use a dark purple color to add our flowers to the back of the tree. Now what I've done is I've mixed this metallic purple with a nice darkish blue and mixed it together to get a really nice violet color. And now I'm going to use a more rounded brush for this because I'm going to be doing lots of little dots. And so we're just gonna go ahead and start adding them. going to make a few very long strands going down. And we're just going to take them all the way across the top of our page. And I like to have my flowers going down a little bit uneven because in nature, not everything is perfect. Now I'm going to add a shade that's a little bit more purple than this, just to add a little bit more depth to our painting. Okay, now we're going to let it dry before we add our tree, so that our tree will be covering our background leaves, but then we'll have some foreground leaves coming in front of it. Now that our painting has dried, I'm going to add in the shape of our tree trunk. Now Wisterias have a notably twisted trunk, and it's usually a very dark shade, but not quite black. So I mixed together a nice brown here. And I'm just going to block in where I'd like my tree to be, and I'm going to have it curve a few different ways, so you can feel free to make yours however you like. And I'm going to start blocking it in. And we can clean up these lines a little bit later. And Wisterias have lots of long, twisted branches, so I'm just going to add a few going off in different directions here. And the tops of our branches are going to be covered up by our foreground flowers, so it's not too important to make them perfect, but give them a nice, decent shape. I'm just going to clean up some of my lines here on my trunk. I'm also going to add a little root coming up out of the ground here from our Wisteria tree. I'm going to connect it down here so we know that the root is reaching out. And it goes underground and it's going to pop back up over here. I'm going to fill this in with some grass later, so it'll give it a more natural feel as well. Now I don't want my tree to be just a silhouette, so I'm going to add a lighter shade of brown just to give it a little bit of depth and complexity. You can choose to do this, or you can leave it as a silhouette if you'd like that. I'm also going to add some highlights just surrounding where the sun is shining on our tree, just to give it that look of realism. I'm going to blend those in a little bit. It's okay if they're not perfect. Now I'm going to add some grass here along the bottom, and since the sun is shining from behind our tree, it's going to be slightly silhouetted, so it's just going to be a very dark green grass. So I'm using an angled brush to get those sharp grass edges, and I've mixed together a nice dark green. So I'm just going to start adding those in. I'm seeing that's a little bit light, so I'm going to add some more dark to that. Alright, let's try this one out. Yes, that's a little better. I'm going to do a few long strands of grass here coming out. And if you flick your brush out and away as you come up, it'll give them nice sharp pointy lines at the end. Make it look a little bit more like real grass. The good thing about working on different ends of the canvas is that now, while our grass is drying, we can start to add in our foreground flowers onto our tree. Now, wisteria have a darkish purple and a light purplish pink flower to them, so I'm going to mix together a nice light purplish pink to add to our trees. The first layer I'm going to add is this nice light pink. And we're just going to go ahead and go over and start filling in the tops of our tree. Now I'm going to be adding some more purple into here. That's not showing enough contrast. So I'm gonna make it just a touch darker. Okay, let's see if this is different. There we go. And as we're further away from our sunlight, we're gonna have some darker highlights in our branches, because not as much light is gonna get on over to these ones. So they're just gonna be a little darker. And on the sides where the sun is not reaching, I'm gonna add some dark low lights just to give it that shadow feel. So we know where the sun is coming from. And I'm going to retroactively add in some darker layers in the back just so that we can see that depth. The places where the light is not hitting. And it needs to be a little bit darker. Now I'm just going to add just a few very, very light purple, almost white highlights in here just to show that there's some sun shining through. Now all you have left to do is sign it. Let me know how yours turned out. See you next time.